What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, but not as you know it. Ben and Simeon have trouble streaming live from where they are on their vacation. So you have got me and Simon for the live Europa League draw. Spurs are back in Europe. Simon, how are you, sir?
Brian, my friend, I'm good. I'm super excited. No sarcasm intended at all about this illustrious draw in this illustrious competition. But other than that, very good, my friend. Hope you are too.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, Ben and I was speaking to Ben, and I was up at 4 a.m. He was like, "Do you fancy doing it?" It's now 6:56 here in Toronto. Time to spend with the We Are Tottenham TV family in the chat, and obviously yourself. Too good an opportunity to turn down. And here we go. The illustrious European nights are back. It may not be the music we all wanted to hear, but there is European football back at Tottenham Hotspur, and the campaign is all about to get started. We'll get the draw going. It's saying at the moment that they're going live in about 13 minutes. So you go everywhere with Spurs. You looking forward to maybe going to some new grounds?
Yeah, do you know what, Brian? To be honest, in Europe side of things, other than Ajax away, which I'm sure everyone remembers in one way or another, I haven't really been abroad to like a proper game. I mean, I went to Haifa a couple of years ago in Israel with Ben, which was awesome. So for me, actually, a promise to myself, and certainly in 2025, was to go and travel even more than I already do, but more of a focus on football as well. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, Simon, I don't know if you can hear me. You're crashing a bit, but whilst we're waiting for Simon to sort out, guys, where are you? We're going to start asking some questions.
But yeah, at the end of the
you're
day,
back.
it's an opportunity for. Oh, I'm
Sorry,
here.
your Wi-Fi is bad again.
Do I go?
Your Wi-Fi's gone bad.
Oh dear. What?
Maybe log out and come
Am
back
I
in.
back now?
Go out and come back in.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
And then I'll go, and then I'll let you back in. Right, guys. So as I was saying, so hopefully we'll sort that out with him. Hopefully that will sort it. But where were we? So Europa League is here. Do you reckon, people, this is our better chance of Champions League football? Do we have to take this tournament deadly, or we should take all tournaments deadly serious? But if you had to choose going far in the Europa League, potential champions, or going full throttle in the league, which one are you going for, people? I would say I'm all about the Europa League. I think the Europa League has got to be the number one thing that we go for. Because I honestly think we stand a better chance of winning this than getting Champions League via the league. So we will have to wait and see what happens. But let's see what people are saying. We've got a lot of people, or the people that are saying Europa is being the main one. And good morning or afternoon and evening, my normal intro from wherever you are in the world. Whether you're up at me like me at the crack of dawn, or you're watching this before you go to bed, or it's perfect time of the day for you. Yeah, I can see a lot of people at the moment. Pretty much everyone here so far has said Europa. 1 second, I'm just getting a message from Ben. Yep, so Ben is asking if it's scheduled, and you can check. We're actually live right now. But yeah, let's have a look. Let me just message him as we speak. But I think everyone is saying is saying Europa. I think we've got to, haven't we? Because I can't see it. And big up to everyone saying good morning to me, and to all of you, everyone around the world. It's something we've got to do. We have got to. We've got to take this seriously. I just can't see us. This isn't a slate. This isn't a pop at anything at the club. I just cannot see us breaking that top four with what we've got and who's above us. So I honestly think that the Champions League, the only route to the Champions League, let's cover that up, is to go win that Europa. So we shall have to see where we go. But I've seen people saying good morning, good evening. What time is it where you are, people in the world? Where is it where you are Like I said, here it is it's 7 a.m. here in Toronto. Big up, like I said, big up to all of you in the chat. There's 506 of you here. I'm on my tablet today because my wife is sleeping where my computer is, so it's very hard. I don't want to wake her up, so I can't really click on the messages as easy as I could. So if I don't bring them up, I apologise, but I am seeing everything. So I think we've all said Europa. Let's go as well. Once we've done with this, we've got Singapore, Virginia, we've got Oklahoma, we've got Italy, we've got the Caribbean. The Caribbean, same time zone as me. There we go. You learn something new every day. India is in the house. We've got people in the UK, of course. Teams you want to meet. Teams you want to avoid. What teams in that group or in the ties that Tottenham could possibly get would you want to avoid? Let's have a look. I think from what I haven't really seen the team. Big up, there's someone in Canada. Big up, Brad. Oh no, it's not Brad that's in Canada. It is Tanner. Big up, Tanner, in the wonderful country I now call home. Botswana. There's a new one I haven't seen. Welcome everyone. Kev G, a very good supporter of my channel as well. So big up to you, buddy, and everyone that's in here from Tottenham on tour as well. Let's see what people are saying with the teams you want to avoid. The teams you want to avoid. I haven't got the full list up at the moment because I'm waiting for the draw to come up. Simon is now resetting his router, so you have just got me as we currently see. Bosnia's here. It's amazing the reach of the YouTube community. It's a wonderful, Roma and Fenerbahce. Psycho would be a bad place. I mean, Fenerbahce is Jose Mourinho as well, and that just writes itself, doesn't it? That just writes itself. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong as well. I think Lazio were in the Real Sociedad. I'm looking at pot two. So pot two. Let me go through the people here we got in pot two. Big up, Rumi Tom. Real Sociedad, AZ Alkmaar. Oh no, they've moved it to pot three. Karabag, Galatasaray, FC Victoria Pleasant. Oh God, there's some teams here you won't recognise. FK Bodo, Union SG. Oh, it moved too quick for me. Pot four. Athletic Club, Hoffenheim, Nice, Anderlecht, FC Twente, Besiktas, Football Club FCSB, FCRFS. Oh my God, there's some names there. There are some names and a half there. And of course, we're pot one. We're pot one. Yeah, Lazio are in there, but they're pot one. And I don't believe Simon was going to read out this brand new method of how this draw is done because I haven't really read a lot up on it. So we shall see. We shall see. Now, obviously, the Europa League. Let's just hope that there's no teams where their managers are in prison that we've got to play. But seriously, now we said that we take the Europa League seriously, and from the majority of you in here about taking it deadly seriously, guys in the comments, where do you really, if you would say right now with what we've got, how far would you say Spurs can go in this? I think we should win it. Technically, before the ball's kicked, Tottenham Hotspur should be in the very advanced stages. And let's see if Simon has sorted his router out. Big up, Simon. You're back?
I am back.
Very good. That's praise be. I'll praise with you. Simon, I'm just asking them at the moment, as it speaks right now, with everyone that's there, with all the teams there, realistically, right now, how far can you see Spurs going into? I mean, technically, we should be going in saying we can win this. This is going to be ours. We should be all over this. But where would you say right now?
I'd be disappointed if we didn't get to the semis as a minimum. Sorry.
Yeah.
I always feel like when we're in these kind of competitions, we should be trying to push all the way. And I think even that when we're in that season with Jose Mourinho, where we felt that we could, push that forwards, it didn't happen. We just fell apart in that game. I can't remember who it was against. I prefer not to remember it too much. But in previous seasons, it's been exactly that same situation. And I think the teams that are there, in amongst all these different pots at the moment, there are some really tough teams. I know it's not the Champions League, but it's still in terms of the teams that are in there. There's a lot of respectable teams in there.
Correct.
So and some tough destinations. So you've got to prepare that aspect of travel or potential long travel for the team in some instances, and vice versa. So I would, in my heart, I want to see us win it, obviously. But we know how the Tottenham story goes in the last sort of 20 odd years. But yeah, as I said, I think I'd be disappointed if we didn't get to the semis at least. It'd be interesting to know what everyone else thinks. But on paper, at the moment, I think we've got a strong chance to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at so I know it's on TNT back home. I'm currently watching it via YouTube, and what I'm looking right now is, by the looks of it, the draw. The people have started doing their talking and what be. So the second that the draw does actually commence, and we're seeing the balls being drawn, we will divert that. But now you've got to look. Technically, we're looking at it and saying we should win it. We should win, or at least, like you said, get to the very latter stages. With the news that
Yeah, that's it.
our window could be done incomings, we've got to really, 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 really start looking at game management, haven't we? Because we had it with Pochettino, and and you said Jose as well. When it came, especially with Pochettino, when it came to the Europa League, he used that as a time to arrest a majority of the players, to not take it as seriously. Whether it was because he wanted to rest for the Premier League or he wanted to give others a chance, that's neither here nor there right now.
Yeah.
But now, especially when you look at it with three centre back recognised, established, obviously Ben Davies is there and may get game time in this. With what goes on with injuries at this club, we've got to be very, very careful and smart with this, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see a lot more of the kind of academy players maybe involved in some of the stages, or certainly the earlier stages of the Europa League. I think it's a good opportunity for the experience. But we were talking off video just before this stream about the depth aspect. Sorry,
Yep.
I think it's still not there. It's been a fantastic window for the outgoings. Probably the best that I've ever known so far as a Spurs fan in terms of outgoings. Long overdue, by the way, for most of those players. But the incomings, yes, some great talent pools coming in. I think we could arguably realistically look at it as it's going to be a developing squad over the next 2 to 5 years, specifically with the fact that a lot of the players I think average around 22, 23. So we've got to have that in the back of our minds, but equally is that competitive edge, isn't it? And it's almost it does feel like a repeat of that beginning of Pochettino era, giving a bunch of players that are X amount of age, developing those players. Can we win something in that 5-year period? And I think that's the ultimate sort of plan with Ange, to be around for at least that amount of time again, as Pochettino was. But the principles were always still the same as they are today. If you want to compete on all those levels, you have to have a very good 11 and at least half of a good subs bench of equal quality, if not better. So I think we're still a bit stuck on that. I'm trying to be as patient as possible in my head, knowing that maybe in January we'll add more and next summer. But as a Spurs fan, that's a very repetitive story, isn't it? Over and over. So you try not to get too crazy about it. But the Europa League is a great opportunity. In terms of the Premier League positioning and how we can do well in there, the Europa League becomes very important. It's a very important competition, just in case we don't get into those top 4 positions. And I'm not a huge hysteria about top 4. I'd rather win things and obviously try and compete higher than a 4th position. But we have to be realistic, and I think if we're realistic, we won't get disappointed. That's how I'm trying to see it, mate. But yeah, I still think we could have a good go at this. I just hope he doesn't or does take it seriously.
So you know what, Simon? Just very quick, Tanner Paul just read my mind, because obviously you've got the way this Europa League structure is being done this year, because obviously the Champions League and Europa League have changed the format. What have you got to tell us about how this is actually getting done this year?
Oh wow, you put me on the spot here. Well, first of all, there's a massive procedure change. I'm not going to act as if I'm highly intelligent in this situation. I've literally used a robotic chat GPT for a simple paragraph. So I'll read that out quickly, guys, because the whole pot selection situation, I don't think matters too much in the sense that we get who we get. Like, we just want to know who we're playing, when we're playing it, and, home and away dates, etc. But the kind of adoption of this new procedure. So the way that they've read this is that the Europa League will adopt a new format inspired by the Swiss model. So instead of a traditional group stage, 36 teams will compete in a single league phase. Each team will play 8 matches against 8 different opponents, obviously, for 4 games at home and 4 away. The top 8 teams will automatically qualify for the round of 16, while teams finishing 9th to 24th will enter a knockout round playoff to secure the remaining 8 spots. So obviously, they've looked to try and kind of improve the entertainment, the excitement around it. It's always good for a bit of change. We've had the same sort of adoption of that probably since, I can't remember, it used to be UEFA, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was UEFA Cup.
Or UEFA, whatever it was called back in the day. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest change since then. But if I'm not going to read the whole thing out, by the way, guys, because it'll bore you to death. But on the Europa League site, there is a procedure tab which gives you a massive whole entire breakdown of pot selections and how it all works. But that's the overview. So yeah, I think it will add some spice. I think it will add some excitement for sure. I quite like that kind of knockout feel. But yeah, again, it's one of those where we can literally take each game as it is and try and do our best. I just hope Ange hasn't listened to Daniel and what he's done in the past. Managers have, of saying no, we need to just focus on the league. Just put any old team out. I want to see us take this seriously, because we want to put something in that museum, right, behind the glass.
Well, mate, I mean, it would be. I mean, you look at it. You said this as well. We're looking at and again, this goes back to what we said about game management, wasn't it? We only played 3 cup games last season. Only played 3 for obvious reasons. Fulham in the Carabao Cup, and then we got Burnley, and then obviously Manchester City in the FA Cup. So there is a minimum of 8 games in this one, people. And this is not saying we will, but if we were to go out early doors of all the stages, that's 10 games. So we've already got 7 games more than what we had last season. Obviously, again, it goes back to squad depth. We're just going to actually. Do you see him using the Europa League or or do you reckon the domestic leagues will be the ones? Because he will have to rotate regardless. No matter what, throughout this season, there are going to be times he's going to be rotating, whether it be with youngsters, whether it be some of the youth that stay. My boy Alfie Devine looks like he may be staying, so maybe that's an avenue for him to get minutes. I mean, where do you see him making these changes? Do you reckon it will be Europa League, or you reckon it may be League Cup, FA Cup, or all 3? And people in the chat, what do you think?
I think it will be a full mix, to be honest. I think the key thing from Ange's perspective, I think if we look at the kind of magnitude, for a better word, of each of the competitions, obviously the Premier League is a sole priority. But outside of that, with these cup competitions, I would have thought that the Europa League would probably be taken more seriously, just from, I know it sounds silly, but like the monetary value that can come from it, and obviously the ultimate prize at the end of it as well. The League Cup is one of those. Again, it's a competition. I want to see us like win these trophies, of course, absolutely. Any fan that says otherwise, then that's just crazy talk, in my opinion. We should be trying to win these competitions.
Clive, give me 2 seconds. I'm just leave you talking for a minute. My doctor's trying to call me for some reason. Give me 2 minutes.
No worries. So as I was saying, guys, the League Cup is obviously something that in past years, or even last year, I mean, we put out a relatively strong team. We just got, it was a pretty poor performance against Fulham, and obviously some of those Deadwood players were still around and not here today. So we might have a different philosophy. I don't believe for 1 second that in that League Cup last year that Ange wanted to lose that game or put out a team purposely thinking, let's see what happens. He was fuming after that game, as were the fans that travelled, as always. And then the FA Cup is a similar proposition. There's a kind of mentality of the FA Cup over however many years that's been running, where it's maybe lost its soul a bit, or maybe it's a bit of meaning. But again, it's another opportunity. But I think from that that kind of topic that Brian was mentioning in regards to the kind of players that might be selected for these tournaments. I do think, I hope, and this will obviously be proven when the first game comes around, that the Europa League will be taken seriously with a strong team. And then there's no excuses. There is no excuses for bad performances other than, if we're continuing or having bad performances in the Premier League and it spills over. But, I noticed the Conference League is very different, maybe slightly different to the Europa League. West Ham gave that a good go and they were very proud of that moment. The trophy might not mean as much as other cups, but the point being is there's dedication, there's the mindset to go and push and try and win something. And that's exactly the mentality that we need to start driving these players. I'm fed up with the conversation of, oh, we should finish fourth because it gives us money, blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
I want to see trophies.
Correct. So I can see people are saying as the draw gone on, it is literally nothing is happening at the moment. I believe someone has just said that they are talking about the rules of it now on whatever platform people are watching it. The stream I'm trying to get it on is just saying starting soon. So I'm trying to find UEFA.
I've got it on.
You've got it on TNT. Is this from UEFA? Let's have a look. Okay, I don't know what I will find. Simon, you might need to let me know when the draw is actually officially taking place, because where I'm trying to get it may just be. So we'll have to wait and see with it. But yeah, like you said, this is a tournament we've won before in its old format. I saw someone else. Who was it that said? Where? Let me find him. M24K. He was saying, I don't know what's wrong with the old rule set. I'm always, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think this is more. They were, like you said, it was more for the entertainment, wasn't it? It wasn't. The rules have been fine. I loved the UEFA Cup when it was just straight knockout. Then the Europa League came in. It lost a bit of its glitz and glamour, and then that's when they made the Champions League spot available for the winner, and that really ramped it up. And now they've done it, but it's not just to this as well, M24K. They've done it to the Champions League as well, haven't they? They've like revamped. Maybe this is blowback from the Super League, and they did say at the time of the Super League that this was going to come, wasn't it? They were going to jazz it up a bit, and it looks like this year everyone has kicked in.
Well, we've got the draw live now going on.
Okay, right. I'll let you take over because I'm going to try and find my correct stream.
I've got the old. I've got the old UEFA website up, so hopefully that's the most.
Oh, maybe that'll work. Let me try. Let me go rather than YouTube. Let me go to UEFA. There we go. There's good. You're a smart man. You're a smart man, Simon. UEFA.
Hopefully that works for you as well. So we have got Rangers in that lineup already. That would be a top quality game.
That
Rangers
would be.
Spurs. I know a few people that will be very happy with that fixture.
There would be. I can't remember, guys. I'm sure out of the 623 people that are with us now, are there any Irish teams in the Europa League this year? Because that's another. I've heard a lot of people last season saying, I hope there's an Irish team so we have a day out in Ireland.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, there aren't any. No, I don't think there are.
No,
we've got. So yeah, of course, from our side, Rangers away, I think, is the first game. Absolutely fantastic. Roma.
So they're in the same team. They're in the same group.
Oh, they're pushing buttons. Right, cool. No
They're
more balls.
They're pushing buttons.
Yeah, amazing.
You got to love button pushing.
Roma away is also one of the first games that we've got. Wow.
So Spurs have got Roma.
A cracking game as well.
Well, we have definitely got Roma.
I believe we have got.
Well, sorry, just I meant league, not groups. My bad. My bad. This is. I'm just seeing the setup now. This looks like literally.
Frankfurt.
So it's not even, mate. They're taking all the fun out of this. It's not even a bloody jiggle the balls around and pull one out, is it? It's literally just pushing a button.
It's a bit lazy, really, isn't it?
It is. Modern technology is sweeping over the world. And I will say, my IA is very, very happy because they live in Italy. So if it's Roma, I'm sure they will be able to, or at least attempt to try and get tickets. Just thankfully, Jose isn't manager of that team anymore.
Yes.
And did you see, talking to Roma, from what I saw, and I think it was Fabrizio that said it, in fact, I'm sure it was, because I saw the Here We Go, Tammy Abraham has gone to Milan.
That's ridiculous.
Links up with Tomori again, doesn't he? So why Tottenham? Why, if I'm looking at all these things right, underneath the thing for Tottenham, I can see Roma and Rangers. Does that mean have we got Rangers as well? Or am I just seeing
All I
things?
would say is this is the most confusing draw I've ever seen in my life.
This is ridiculous. This is like, you know, when you have two things on the opposite side, you've got to make this match that, but you can't draw lines over each other. It's one of those. This has got to be the most strangest, weirdest thing. Thank you, Ennis. Yeah, so we've got Roma and Rangers. So you might be going to Ibrox. I wouldn't say I have a soft spot, but I always Rangers. Just whenever you say Rangers, just reminds me of Gaza, and that's never a bad thing. That's never a bad thing, is it, Si?
Not at all.
So yeah, so it looks like Spurs so far have Roma and Rangers in the league. Roma and Rangers for Spurs. Okay, Kev G's just said we've got Rangers away,
Yeah,
Roma at home.
that's right.
So it is a trip to Ibrox. I'm sure there's Scottish fans in here that may support Rangers, that will try and get tickets there, or may support any other Scottish team apart from Celtic and try and get tickets there.
Okay.
Roma at home. I mean, listen, if we're going to play Roma, I'd rather play them at home rather than go to that stadium.
Well, yeah, Manchester United have Rangers at home, Porto away.
Wait a minute. So how can this is a bit I'm getting confused about? Why do this? Why have Man U got Rangers and we've got Rangers? This is so confusing.
This is fun. Good times.
People in the chat, there's 628 of you. Are you kind of like me and Simon? And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this just looks bizarre.
Yeah. So from my understanding, Man United have got Rangers at home, Porto away, Panathinaikos at home, Fenerbahce away. What team's that? Oh, Blint. Okay, cool. They're at home. Victoria Pleasant away. FC Twente home. FCSB.
So let's just read out. So when I said what are people thinking, we've got
Tottenham,
it's weird, confusing.
Tottenham
Kev's okay with it. Oh, Tottenham's next apparently. Thanks, Matty.
Yeah, we've got our full range here. So we've got Roma at home. We've got Rangers away, which are confirmed. The remaining teams.
Oh, I can see now the blue green home away. Right, I'm starting to get it.
At home. Fenerbahce. Oh no, sorry. Ferencváros away. Karabag at home. Galatasaray away. Elfsberg at home, and Hoffenheim away.
Sorry, did you say Galatasaray is away?
So that's we've got Galatasaray away.
That's one of the worst places for stadium atmosphere you want to go at. So let's have a look. So Tottenham's draw once again. If you're Roma at home, Rangers away, AZ Alkmaar away. Is that going to be Fenerbahce or Fenerbahce?
No, that is
Is that Portuguese?
Ferencváros.
There you go. I don't know where they're from. I'm squinting here with my eyes. Karabag home, Galatasaray away, Elfsberg home, and then Hoffenheim away. What are people thinking of that draw? What's your immediate reaction, Si?
Well, a mess first of all. But kind of what we said earlier, to be honest, mate. I think
Thanks, buddy.
there's some
Hungarian.
there's some interesting, destinations there. So, uh, obviously, for me, the pick outs of Roma and Rangers probably the most difficult out of the two. Galatasaray is probably amongst that as well. The rest of them, I expect us to be winning. But yeah, that Galatasaray trip's gonna be very tricky, and I think Rangers is always gonna be up for that. I'm actually quite pleased that's away because I think the atmosphere there would be
Oh,
fantastic, and it'd
electric.
be a great experience for a lot of fans.
Electric. I have to say as well, and Eric C, fair play. I think you're the first one that said this straight away. Troy Parrott, AZ Alkmaar. Um, you can just see it, can't you? You can just see it. But how bad have the other teams got it? What's Manchester United got?
Um,
Rangers,
yeah,
Porto.
so I would actually say United have got a relatively tricky group. They've got Rangers at home, Porto away, Panathinaikos at home, so that's always a tricky game. Fenerbahce is never an easy game either. That's away. And FC Twente, they always usually come up with some tricky results against British teams. The rest of
Yep.
them are probably winnable for United, but they should be pulling through, I think, as well in their group. Just scanning through some of the others as well. I don't think we've had. Let's check. Rangers themselves have got a fairly tricky group for those that are interested in the Scottish leagues. So they got obviously us at home.
Yep.
They got United away, as we just mentioned. They got Lyon at home. That's going to be very tricky. Olympiacos away, and they've also got Nice away as well. The other few games, I'm not familiar with those teams, but I would have thought they should be trying to get some kind of result of those. So they've got a tricky group as well, just from kind of wrapping up.
So I have to say, we have a very good supporter of all the channels, just a harmless potato. Keep saying when we say it, say no groups now, leagues, no groups, leagues. Listen, you're right, but just like I still call our stadium White Hart Lane at Newcastle when they had the Sport Direct Arena. So it's so hard when you've grown up old school and it's been groups. It's going to take a while to say the league we've got. I know you're having bad for just harmless potato anyway, so it's all good, but yes, the Spurs should, we say should, this should be easily obtainable for us to get out, isn't it? And then if we get through this, which we should, I know it is just harmless potato. I know it is. So should we get through this, then we're in the advanced stages, and obviously it's a massive plus that no Champions League teams can drop down here.
I was reading a comment from Vannon there. Andrew would love to go to Rangers. That's great.
I forgot about that connection. Wow, look at that. You think about it. Well said, Vannon. You look at it, we've got the return of Troy Parrott. Anne's going to his deadliest rivals from his previous job. My God, there's some romance, like a cup draw in this, isn't there?
Absolutely. I was looking at any kind of Italian league fans out there. Lazio have got probably, I would actually say maybe Lazio have got one of the strongest leagues. I got that right. They've got Porto at home, Ajax away, Real Sociedad at home. They've got Braga, which is a tricky team, away. They've got Dinamo Kiev away. And they've got Nice and Twente. So I think Lazio have actually probably got, at the moment, the strongest league there. So yeah, I'm pretty confident we should be getting through our league quite comfortably. I'm saying that with a bit of a pinch of salt. And many years.
I think so, Simon. I'm saying that as well. Delusion. I can see that Daniel Pinkers has said I'm delusional. Games will be difficult. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that they won't be difficult. But us as a football club, regardless of what's going on and whatever, if you see those fixtures, Tottenham Hotspur should always get through a group like that. You look at it. This should be, especially. As we said at the beginning, for me, no, I know you didn't mean Daniel. I know you didn't, mate. I know you were joking about that. Don't worry about that, my friend. I literally think now, like we said, Simon, we go back to it. Now you see that group stage, and we'll talk about like what Daniel was saying or what Kev G was saying. When you see that group stage, you would think, right, this is achievable. This is to get out. you would think now it really comes to the point where you say, right, how do I manage the build? Not just these games. Let's just say we've got a Premier League game, and then it's, I don't know, Galatasaray away. That is a place. That is a place where we've got to obviously go with a very strong team, because you can't play the youngsters there. But there are games there where you think rotation could be. And I'm just going to stop there because someone who's quite familiar to this channel has decided to drop in on his vacation. We have to finish top 8 out of 32 to get automatic passage into the last 16. There you go. Simeon has come in with the stats as always.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Simeon. Go enjoy your holiday, brother. We've got this.
Yeah,
We've got this.
Go and enjoy Sim. We've already been through this at the beginning
Yeah,
of the
we've
stream.
been through this. Chat GPT has been our friend today. We've gone through it. The chat have been brilliant. We've all got there together. But you would think there are some games there like Galatasaray where I don't think he can even think about playing like an Archie Gray Galatasaray is not the place for the weak-hearted, is it?
No, absolutely not. I think just from that aspect, I think we've got there are. I think Galatasaray. I'm not sure if I'll ever get tickets. I know I'm on the season ticket list of always applying for these things, but it's very difficult. But that would be a game that if you were thinking of fixtures or grounds and stadiums that you want to go into your lifetime, that's definitely in the top for sure in terms of my mind. Rangers being the other one as well. So
there are two cauldrons.
There's some great ones. And for those that do get tickets, they're going to absolutely love that. I think it's just something about the away days in general. I think away in other lands is even more special. It's just that travel aspect and seeing a new environment, seeing a new culture and everything as well, and seeing usually great atmospheres. So I think we've got a really good group. I think just from the travel aspect, I think is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, you look at you and I are in a group where we have loads and loads of season ticket holders that go away, pre-season, everything. There's definitely some new grounds people are going to tick off their want to go, or not even want to go to list. There is definitely some new grounds people will be experiencing. That's the beauty of Europe, isn't it?
100%.
Going to these new grounds, experiencing the culture, having a day out there, whether it's overnight or whatever. And there's definitely some new grounds there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I do question this whole entire draw of pressing buttons and things. They might as well just
look, another one. Good old Davinson Sanchez. This is the Tottenham Hotspur unwanted reunion in this group. It's like, take that, getting back together.
That's it. Olympiacos have just had their opponents all confirmed as well. So you pretty much, I think they've got a relatively simple group for themselves as well. Obviously, Rangers at home is an identifiable potential problem for them. Porto away, Braga at home, Lyon away. The rest they should probably be winning fairly comfortably. The draw is still going on. By the way, everyone, it's quite long. I think there's quite a few leagues still to fully confirm.
Do you know what I did enjoy, Si? You know what I did enjoy? I was just watching the Tottenham one, looking at that, and then all of a sudden 8 teams just appeared out of nowhere. That part was enjoyable, rather than having to go through every so there were
I think we'll be here for a while, won't we?
There was a bit of enjoyment and just seeing all those teams pop up. It's like, okay, that's who we got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's again, it's just like, why bother with these balls? Just let a robotic chat GPT or something just go, can you just randomize all the teams here, please, into pots and select them?
It's the way of the world, mate. It's the way of the world. So we'll wrap up shortly, but so I look at it, just quickly read back Spurs' group, if you can get it up.
Yeah, of course. So for those that just joining us or haven't found out yet,
Tottenham League, I'm
pretty sure this is in order as well, fixtures. Someone might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got Roma at home, Rangers away, Alkmaar or AZ Alkmaar at home. This team I'm not familiar with, but Ferencváros from pot 2.
They're Hungarian.
That's it. We're away. Karabag at home, Galatasaray away, Elfsborg at home, and then the ending game, Hoffenheim. I think that would be a good fixture to go to.
Apparently, fixtures aren't in order, so we'll wait to see that. But I will say, Joe, Hungary is one of the countries on my bucket list that I really want to go to. It's going to be a wonderful country to visit, so people might be able to tick that off their list, and if they're lucky. But yeah, guys, we'll leave it there. enjoy your weekend. Enjoy what we all think is going to be a very, 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 very quiet transfer deadline day for incomings for Spurs. There could still be outgoings. Then obviously we've got Newcastle. Ben and Simeon are still away, so they will be bringing you live updates, or not live updates, pre-recorded updates like they do every single day. If they need us to go live again for them, we will. My channel, Tottenham on Tour, will be doing a few bits and pieces here and there. If you haven't subscribed, please, if you enjoy the content we do or seen the content, go over and give us a like or subscribe. Si, you've got your channel, the wall, which you've just put in there, the Walls of the what? Wales of Wall Street.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, mate, it's a tongue twister at times. But yeah, Simon, it's always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah, brilliant to see you, Brian. And hello to all you guys out there. Have a great weekend. Let's get a result at St. James's, shall we?
Let's do that. And I will say, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Whatever you're doing, whoever you're sharing the weekend with, have a great one. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, come on, you Spurs.